for wall-to-wall football today, and that includes what's going on tomorrow in South Bend as the Michigan Wolverines take on Notre Dame at one of the bigger games this opening weekend. Our friend Angelique Chengelis of the Detroit News joins us. Angelique, we were just saying as I was going to the break, said it was great. We had a fun conversation in Chicago with you at Big Ten Media Days about a month ago, and absolutely nothing has happened in college football since that day. It's been real quiet, hasn't it? Maybe for you, but not for us down here in Columbus.
I was just going to say, in Ann Arbor, it's been just perfectly quiet, and frankly, it has been maybe a little too quiet. I mean, Harbaugh hasn't given us a ton of access. It's not like we've seen practice, but pretty low key in Ann Arbor, kind of the way I like covering the team. So yeah, nothing like all that you guys have dealt with in Columbus and in Maryland as well.
What is your, from afar, as you've watched this? I mean, we get another statement today from Coach Meyer, and It's been one thing after another. From afar, what is your reaction to everything going on in Columbus?
From afar, it feels like someone needed to step in early on and orchestrate this a little bit better. I don't get these statements releasing on Fridays, and it just feels like, I think it was Don Cannon at Michigan that once said, why you make a one-day story, a two-day story, a three-day story. This feels like they keep making it a 14-day story.
Right.
And not that it needs to be, it's going to be, the ends are going to be tied tightly and it's going to be done with right away, but it just feels like it does not stop. And I'm not sure who's advising all of these different statements that are being released, but it just feels not redundant, but just too much, and I'm not sure I understand why. And I read the Urban statement earlier while I'm in South Bend already, and I just was like scratching my head, like, why? I mean, why? This has got to stop.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of angry people at the situation, whatever, that are just like they need to go into the corner for a timeout and just take a deep breath right now and stay off of Twitter. Stay off of Twitter.
No more train wreck text. Twitter conversations involving Zach. None of that stuff. It has to end. And I thought it was. I thought it was coming to some level of closure. That's not going to happen. There are going to be stories that are going to keep trickling out. But I really. You don't want to say, just get it over with because football's starting, and there are more important things, but I thought it would be wrapped up by now.
Yeah, I know that up in Ann Arbor this week, Coach Harbaugh got asked about Ohio State and Maryland. He's tied to both because Ohio State's the big rival in Maryland with the DJ Durkin connection, and he wanted no part of it, right, Angelique?
Yeah, no, he said he had no comments on Urban, and he didn't have anything more to add to the Maryland Durkin story that he'd been asked about shortly after that, and he said he didn't, he's only going to talk about Michigan and Michigan-related topics, and he's definitely steered clear of those controversies, and I never expected that he would comment on them. That's just not his style.
All right, we're visiting with Angelique Chengelis to the Detroit News, so let's dovetail towards Michigan and what you're in South Bend for, and that is the Michigan Notre Dame game tomorrow. We talked about this with you in Chicago, Angelique, but this is just a broad, very basic question. How big is this game for Michigan?
I think it's enormous. I really do. I think we've all heard these players, these Michigan players talking bigger than I've heard them in a while, especially the offensive linemen with Ed Warner. They suddenly feel like they're really more than competent offensive line. They've said all the right things. We don't want the fingers pointed at us anymore. We're nastier. We want to show people that we've changed under Ed Warner, who's simplified everything. He is replacing two starters, and the tackles are still an issue. Apparently they were still competing this week to determine who the starting left and right tackles would be. I think that's still concerning. But they have talked bigger about where they come from 8-5, and part of that's adding Ben Herbert, the new strength coach. I'm not kidding about it. Their bodies have changed. They're all bigger. They look leaner, and they've all talked about that and really gone on and on about it, to be honest. And I think the whole Shea Patterson addition. He is a guy he's a quarterback who carries himself with a confidence I have not seen at Michigan in several years. And I'm not saying Wilton State wasn't a good leader. He's just different. And this guy carries himself
with a quiet confidence, and it's very clear that he's very comfortable in the starting role. He's had 10 starts at Ole Miss. He feels very good about himself and this offense. But I think they all feel so good about the defense, and they feel like, not that the offense needs a cushion, but they know that defense is probably championship caliber and is always going to be there and have their backs as much as possible.
You mentioned Shea Patterson, and obviously his addition has been huge. And, we kind of knew when he went there that he was going to be the starter, officially got named the starter last week. And you talked about how he carries himself from an offensive standpoint. Do you see him bringing confidence to the entire offensive unit? What kind of things are you hearing from the other guys about this guy?
I do. I mean, I've heard it from the defensive side, and I think that actually intrigued me more because they realized that their offense was just not close to their level last year, even probably the previous season. And I think these guys are realizing, okay, wait, it looks like this. Maybe they haven't closed the gap with the defense. Maybe this offense is going to give this defense a break, especially late in the season when they got beaten up, when the defense did, because the offense couldn't do anything and couldn't get a first down when they needed it. And but yes, the offensive players have been talking about Shea Patterson since spring ball, and I think what impressed all of them is that he came in and he just blended in right away. It didn't take time. They all commented that he didn't come in with this prima donna attitude. There was nothing like that, and that he's just really become one of the guys. And I saw it in Paris during their spring trip. I mean, he was with them like he had been there the last couple of years. It was quite a transition for him, and I think he's done it seamlessly.
The defense, as you said, was lights out last year. They had trouble at times, though, finishing games. And a lot of that, I'm sure, had to do with the offense not giving them a whole lot of support. But how much has that been a talking point, Angelique, for this Michigan team, finishing games?
Oh, for sure. And I think, again, that's where Ben Herbert comes in. I mean, he's got these guys conditioned. They have a new nutrition program. They feel like they're talking like they can, they've just got this great endurance now. They're mentally at the end of games. But, yeah, I mean, I think for the defense, a lot of it was predicated on the offense just not helping them out last season and not making an excuse because they did give up big plays. There's no doubt. You mentioned and didn't help this team finish games. And I just think across the board, they just feel better about themselves. And I think people are wondering, well, how can they feel better coming off of 8-5? But I think they saw a change in Jim Harbaugh, too, and that he was willing to and I go back to a conversation I had privately with Jim, and I guess I can share it. I mean, I just ran into him a month or so after the bowl game at a function, and he said that he had to do some stuff. He had to look at himself and say, what went wrong? How can I change this? And he told me that was a very difficult thing to do because I don't think Jim Harbaugh has done that very much. And Tim Glednow, is gone. Ed Warner's in coaching the offensive line. You've got Jim McElwain, who was the head coach of Florida, coaching receivers. They didn't have a designated receivers coach last year, and they brought Sherrod Moore in to cover tight end. So I think that they saw that their coach was willing to make changes, and he's toned down his act. I think everybody's noticed that. And I think it's all blended together. I mean, proof's in the pudding, they play the games, but right now the attitude seems right.
All right, last thing for you, Angelique. When we talked to you in Chicago at Big Ten Media Days, there was no definitive answer on how this play calling thing was going to work and who's calling plays. And you said, I'm going to keep asking, have you ever gotten an answer who's calling plays on the sideline during the game?
It's collaborative. Come on.
Still the same answer.
Well, you know what? Pep Hamilton, who hates giving us the time of day, spoke to us for a few minutes the other day. And let me just backtrack. Pep Hamilton said it was a very close quarterback competition, and when I tweeted that, everybody kind of did the collective eye roll emoji. But Pep did say that everything goes through Jim. So obviously Harbaugh is the final stamp. I gotta believe that Pep is calling the pass plays, and Warner's going to call the run plays, and it's going to be collaborative, and there's not going to be an offensive coordinator by name. So I think if anyone has problems with the play calling, which I'm sure there will be issues, you got to put it on Jim Harbaugh because that's the guy who's got the final say.
All right, Angelique. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes and enjoy football. I know we're looking forward to actually talking about football here, but I'm sure you're looking forward to that game tomorrow night. And thanks for taking a few minutes for us.
Oh, my pleasure. And say hi to Bill Rabinowitz for me later.